They were inseparable. From the outside, Emma and Leo looked like the perfect couple. They laughed together, finished each other's sentences, posted pictures in golden sunlight with hashtags like soulmates and forever. But behind closed doors, something quiet and dangerous was happening. Something neither of them noticed until it was too late. Emma had stopped seeing her friends, her painting classes long forgotten. Her journal gathered dust on the shelf, and her Saturday morning yoga routine had vanished like smoke. All her energy, every thought, every ounce of attention was poured into the relationship. And Leo? He was flattered at first, but eventually he felt the weight. She depended on him to be her everything, her partner, her emotional lifeline, her social life, her sense of purpose. And one evening, as they sat in silence during dinner, Leo looked across the table and whispered, "I miss you, but I don't even know who you are anymore." That moment broke something open, not just in their relationship but in Emma herself. And it raises the question so many of us overlook when we fall deeply in love. What happens when you lose yourself in someone else? We're taught that true love is about devotion, about selflessness, about putting your partner first no matter what. And while love absolutely requires care, sacrifice, and compromise, there's a fine line between being committed to someone and becoming consumed by them. Here's something we rarely talk about. Self-care is not selfish. It's survival. And not just for you, but for your relationship too. Psychologists have found that the healthiest relationships are built not by people who merge into one, but by two individuals who maintain their own identity while choosing to share their lives. They call it interdependence, a delicate balance between connection and autonomy. Think of a relationship like a campfire. Each partner brings their own log to the flame. If one log burns out, the fire dims. But if both are strong, if each person has their own warmth, their own strength, the fire blazes brighter. Let me tell you about someone else, Malik. He was a dedicated husband, always available, always accommodating. His wife, Maya, often joked that he was too nice. At first, it seemed like a compliment. But over time, Malik began to feel invisible. He said yes to everything. Her restaurant picks, her weekend plans, her career dreams, until he couldn't remember the last time he'd done something for himself. The real shock came during a couples therapy session. The therapist asked, "Malik, what brings you joy?" He couldn't answer. He didn't know. That moment was a wake-up call. He began reintroducing himself to, himself. He started playing football again, reconnected with his childhood friends, took solo walks just to think, and something amazing happened. His relationship didn't suffer. It actually improved. Maya said he seemed more alive, more present, more grounded. And for the first time, Malik felt like he was showing up in the relationship as a full person, not just a reflection of someone else's needs. The truth is, when you abandon your own needs for the sake of love, you don't become more loving. You become more resentful. You start to feel unseen, unappreciated, even trapped. And your partner, in turn, feels the pressure of carrying your happiness. Self-care creates space for clarity, reflection, and renewal. It reminds you that you are worthy, not because someone else loves you, but because you love you. And from that place of strength, you have more to offer. More patience, more compassion, more authenticity. But here's the twist. Self-care isn't always about bubble baths and spa days. Sometimes it's about boundaries, about saying no when you need to, about carving out time for your own goals, your own friends, your own spiritual or creative practices. It's about having honest conversations, like, I need an hour to myself tonight, or I'm going to take that solo trip I've been dreaming about. And yes, that can feel scary, especially if your relationship has been built on the unspoken agreement that closeness means constant togetherness. But real intimacy, it thrives in space, in the trust that both people can grow without growing apart. Think of the couples you admire most. Chances are they're not attached at the hip. They support each other's dreams, cheer each other on, and still have lives outside the relationship. That's not distance. That's depth. In fact, studies show that people who regularly engage in self-care practices report higher satisfaction in their relationships. Why? Because they are less stressed, more emotionally resilient, and more capable of meeting their partner's needs without neglecting their own. And here's something even more surprising. Couples who encourage each other to grow as individuals, whether through hobbies, careers, or personal development, actually have stronger emotional bonds. Love isn't diminished by individuality, it's enriched by it. Let's go back to Emma, the woman who lost herself trying to be everything for Leo. After their painful dinner conversation, she didn't walk away from the relationship. She walked back to herself. She started painting again, joined a book club, took a solo road trip along the coast. And when she returned, something had shifted. She smiled more, spoke with confidence, set gentle boundaries. And Leo, he noticed. He fell in love with her again, not because she needed him, but because she no longer did. Their relationship, now built on two whole people, was stronger than ever. So if you've ever felt guilty for putting yourself first, don't. The version of you who's rested, inspired, emotionally full, that version makes a better partner, a better listener, a better lover. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you shouldn't have to. Start small. Take a walk alone without your phone. Revisit a hobby you've shelved. Call a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Journal, meditate, breathe, not for anyone else, for you. Because you are not just someone's partner. You are a person with dreams, fears, needs, and gifts that exist outside of any relationship. And honoring that truth is not a betrayal of love. It's the deepest form of it. Remember this. The best relationships are not built by losing yourself in someone else. They're built when two people, strong in who they are, choose each other again and again. And sometimes choosing each other means first choosing yourself.